Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gambling Savant. Today we have special guest Tyler Boone with BooneRings.com. Everybody knows Tyler, very well known in the community, especially the CasinoCoin community. That being said, his presence is continuously spreading through many different sectors and projects throughout crypto and other areas of business and relationships. And what a fantastic story we have here. And what a gentleman, a buddy of mine. We talk regularly. He's everything that you would want in someone to conduct business with, and their product and their future is brighter than ever. And we want to talk about all the developments that have taken place just within the last handful of months, if that. Okay. So here we are, Tyler. Welcome to the show. And so let's go full circle on your story, kind of where things started. A lot of us do know where that took place, how that took place. For those of us who don't, give us a little insight and background on what happened one day. You woke up one day and things kind of took off. Okay. Can you explain to us kind of where things started with this division of BooneRings.com?
Certainly. And Gambling Savant, first of all, I want to say thank you so much. Appreciate the introduction and having me on today. It's always a pleasure. So essentially, Boone Rings is my dad's business. We could start there. He's been making wedding rings out of titanium for 26 years now, or 27, I think. I don't even know, but a while, my whole life. Yeah. And so I've grown up in the shop, and ever since I was in elementary school, he taught me how to use CAD, like computer aided design software, so I could make things and design things. He would walk me through the design process, turning an idea into a physical product. He kind of instilled that in me from a young age of okay, if you have an idea and you can make it, and then you could, make a website and collect money on the internet, then you'll always have a job. And so that was what stuck with me for a very long time. And then fast forward to, today, where for the last year to year and a half now, I've been full-time with the business. I graduated from Georgia Tech in December of 2019, was working on a startup at the time. We did great things with that startup, and we won a global competition. We got an investment from a billionaire. A lot of really awesome things happened with that. But two of the team members moved to Michigan with full-time jobs. It's been difficult to kind of continue on the path that we have been. So for the meantime, it's still a thing, but in the meantime, I've been full-time with this business. And the ring business for the last, since COVID started, really has taken a hit with just sales, and so we've been trying to figure out ways to kind of improve that and kind of get back on our feet. And so I was thinking about that for a while of what could we do? And, this whole idea of I like cryptocurrency. That's something that I've been passionate about for a few years now. And I, if there was any way that I would be able to utilize the skill set that I have to make products or merchandise for a community that I feel like I'm a part of and feel like I can communicate effectively with, then that could be an entirely new revenue stream for the business. And so I explored that. And the first thing that we started with was a CasinoCoin keychain. And so I just, got the logo. I made it into something that I could cut out on the laser. And then just, cut one out, put it on my backpack, took a picture of it, put it up on Twitter on my brand new account that I just started, which originally was just to do some crypto research. Cause I didn't have a Twitter up until then. And this was back in June. So not even, I think 4 months ago or however many months ago that is. And so it just started there. I posted it up there. Was hey, CasinoCoin community, check this out. This is kind of cool, right? And then, man, there were 5 people that wanted to buy it that day. And I was okay. So I went up to my dad. I'm can I just make a cryptocurrency, merchandise section of the store, a whole new collection, just separate? I'll make it a separate URL for it. I can put that out there. And he's well, if people pay for it, I don't see why not. Sure. And so, that's where it started. And we got a lot of sales just from the CasinoCoin community. I got, the blessing from Quad Jacks and Daniel, and Daniel has even bought a couple things from me, which is kind of cool.
Excellent.
He got a QR code thing, and so it's just been really exciting because that's where it all started. And the CasinoCoin community is so tight knit and so like amazing. They're just great people. They're really great to get to know. I know quite a few of these people in the community now, and we have conversations and stuff. And so, yeah, it's just, that's where it started. And then of course, since then, it's just really ballooned into something completely different, but at the same time, the same. It's like I'm able to cater to multiple different communities and offer them the same kind of unique personalization that I did with like the CasinoCoin community. And so I think that's kind of really unique and important in this ecosystem, because right now, like, crypto is very tribalistic and everyone's in their own groups. But with what I'm doing with this physical merchandise, I can actually reach into multiple communities and bring communities together into one new community. And I think there's something powerful about that, going forward anyway, that I'm really excited to explore. So it's just really exciting.
Yeah. Well, I've always been a cheerleader of sorts for you, of course, and very supportive of BooneRings.com. And I love the effort. I love the vision. I love the product, the materials, the level of communication, the ease of purchase, and the fact that you guys finish all of your pieces by hand with the final touches, right? And there's some personalization there that there's a connection, whether or not any given individual has met you personally or not, or been on a live stream or communicated with you via Twitter, social media. There's that immediate connection to your company, whether it's your father's product or the division that you're handling. You can even sense that your father and yourself have a great relationship that blends both the crypto and the rings and the more of the jewelry type sector, right? And it's really reassuring and something not of the past, but you don't see that too often anymore. You don't have that call it mom and pop shop feel, but you're able to handle hundreds of pieces or potentially thousands of pieces of merchandise, either current day or in the very near future, right? So like things are progressing on a large scale, but you're still delivering that very personal touch that means a lot to people. Is my perspective.
Well, certainly. And I think and that's something that's extremely important to me personally. It's like, I want to be able to like offer the personal touch, offer, the quick turnaround time, but also the high quality, really nail check all those boxes and give the customer like the best experience they can possibly have. And especially when you consider like the cards, where they have personal designs on them, they have their own QR code on them. It's like, I will generate the QR code, send it to them in a DM, be like, make sure this works, goes to the place you expect it to. As soon as I design the card, I delete the QR code for them. It's not in my files. It's not anywhere. And just, I think that it's that like communication of, I'll just, I have my DMs open. I will, like go through the process with people. I'll send them pictures of their order as it's being made. And people just think that's the coolest thing. And so it's one of those things that like, a big time company, they're not going to do anything like that. Just too big. And so I think that like one of my startup coach mentor people that worked closely with me during my startup days told me that one of the most important things that I could do as a startup owner was to do things that don't scale, because bigger businesses can't do that. They have to, they've kind of backed themselves up into a corner with profitability. And, they've already scaled up production. They've already gone through all these investments that they needed to put in place in order to get that to that level of production. So they can't just turn around and offer these touches that we can do. So, we have that unique advantage right now of like, we're only 3 people in a shop, but we can still pump this stuff out. We can do it really well, and we can, make it very personal. And so there will be a time where we're going to have to hire people and expand. But, for now, like we have a little bit more room that we can scale at our current capacity. But I think we are inching closer and closer to the point where we're going to have to hire some more full-time people, which is exciting and also a little scary. But it's crazy how fast this has grown.
Yeah. When you look at, businesses just in general for startups, you had all the equipment, you had access to your father's prior setup, right? As we know, but
Right.
let's just take any random startup company. I mean, there's companies that are looking at 3 to 5 years to turn a profit,
Yeah.
right? At least there's companies that are in debt forever. And the profit margins, the level of success might look good at face value, but when you get down to the nitty gritty and are these companies profitable? Are they doing the right things? Not to get into that, but look how quickly things progress with the crypto sector of BooneRings.com, right? You're in business, you're profitable, you're taking care of everybody. People are demanding your product. I mean, there's obviously a large demand for it. We've discussed, certain partnerships and affiliates and things that are developing very quickly that are pointing everything in the direction of, yeah, I might have to hire people, like you said.
Yeah.
Things are really advancing. You're going to find a way to still deliver that top-notch quality, the personalization, all of that, of course, right? As we know. What I think is really cool about your story, it's not like you were in college to become an accountant or something like that, and then all of a sudden we're like, you know what? I'm just going to work for my dad. This was kind of like years and years or a decade or more in the making, it sounds like to me, where you were in the shop as a child. Your father taught you a lot of life lessons that went hand in hand with this type of business and communicating with people. My father was in business for himself as a child as well, and I was conditioned to understand how to communicate with people, how to provide customer service, not because it was instructed necessarily, but being around it as a child when you're a sponge and you're soaking in all of your surroundings. And that's very impactful. And I would imagine your story is similar to where
Certainly.
without even realizing it, you became the person that you are. You took the trail that you took subconsciously because of your upbringing. And
yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I think like it is extremely impactful to think in those terms. It is definitely a mindset thing over anything of just like, a lot of people, especially like when I was in college at Georgia Tech, it was the norm to go through the school and then get a job. And that was the goal. Like you had to go and get employed by somebody else,
Right.
And like to me, and like I worked for Gulfstream Aerospace Company and done like design work for them and all kinds of cool stuff. And like I've worked for other companies, but it was not the same feeling as this. I mean, like this is crazy because I can just like, I don't even feel like it's work half the time, going on Twitter and engaging with people. Like that's just fun to me, but it's generating income and that's crazy,
Yes.
So like, I think that there is something very powerful about, being able to, have an online business and generate income for yourself and like kind of be independent and not have to rely on an employer that could just decide one day that you're, replaceable. And like this is something where it's like I call the shots. I do what I feel is right for the business, and I focus on what the customers want, and I'm able to just kind of make things and innovate and be creative. And that's just what I like to do. And so it's really exciting for me personally that I'm able to kind of align my interests and the things that I'm good at with a career path, and to kind of just put it all together. It just feels like things are kind of falling into place. And, I'm happy to devote so much time to this and spend the late nights in the shop getting on top of things and, doing what's necessary in order to make the customers happy, because this is something that I want to, cultivate. I want it to grow. I want it to become, even bigger. Like, and it's certainly possible. And like, we've seen just in the last 4 months what has come of this. And so, I mean, I think that like, we're still virtually unknown in the crypto space. And, maybe one day that won't be the case anymore. And it'll just become a very, very well-known thing. And that would just be very exciting.
Well, and even, it's funny because there's like 11,000, 12,000 cryptos right now,
Yeah.
And
Right.
it seems like no matter where any project is in the progression of things, whether you're the Bitcoin of crypto or you're the token number 11,117, right?
Right.
The individuals who are backing any vision, who are backing any sort of technology or trying to fill the gap in a certain area of where that technology can be useful and solve problems, people are very passionate. They want to support their project. They want to be united with their community. And what better way to represent that and showcase your support than wearing a pendant or having a QR code on a card that also has some of your own personal advertising, call it, or business card type information, right? Where you can kind of combine the two and have like all of us represent CasinoCoin and CSC Nation. And it's like, you get the best of both worlds. Me wearing this hat, this is an example of showing my support for CasinoCoin. It's very obvious where my interest lies. Right. When I wear my pendant, which I do wear all the time, and actually my daughter has kind of taken over the role of wearing my CasinoCoin token. She loves it. So I'm going to have to figure out what the future looks like with that relationship to that piece. I might have to pop on another one here shortly, but so it's funny. But you see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Well, it's a community thing. And I think we talked about it last time in the last live stream about the power of community. And, in Web3, in this explosion of finance, the innovation behind the Internet of Value, it's crazy just how powerful a community can be when what that community is centered around is an asset that is appreciating dramatically in value, that's adding more economic power essentially to each of the individuals as a part of the community. And so it gives people a vested interest and like a real world value behind, like wearing that hat. It's like, as a YouTuber reaching however many people you can get this message out to, if they see that and don't know what it is and then look it up and then be like, oh, that actually sounds pretty cool, then they invest in it. I mean, that is also like improving the stance of the project as a whole, which is your position. So it's like it makes a lot of sense, and it's just crazy. There's nothing else really like that I know of before crypto. It's a totally unique concept and a totally unique take on community. And I think that as we go on and we have things like the Flare network that are truly completely decentralized, and you have means to just make passive income without at high yield interest, without needing a bank and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that I feel like we're just scratching the surface of what a community can do with, these various crypto communities we have. I think in 5 years from now, it's going to be way, way, way bigger.
I agree with you.
And it's really exciting to just really be on the ground floor of all this. But
hey, real quick, let's touch on the chat. We've got some individuals that are definitely participating. We're happy to have you all. We've got Fresh out there, CSC. We've got Wally Crypto, CSC Nation. Let's go, man. We love CSC Nation. Code Ward is in the house. Nice. He says, gentlemen, hope you're well. Tyler and I are doing well. We love shooting the breeze here. We're having a good time. We've got Death Sero King. We've got Callie Explorer. What's up, Callie? Hey. Sero King says, let's go CSC family. Where did you get the hat? I got the hat from merch.eminence.im. I will post the link in the chat here shortly. Thank you for showing your interest. I'm going to post the link to BooneRings.com as well. And I'm going to do that right now. Everybody can go buzz through their site, look at all the different types of jewelry, their original, call it the OG type product. And then, of course, you can click on the crypto link and see what Tyler's been up to. He's got a great array of product and certainly something for everybody. If you'd like to make a purchase with the BooneRings.com link that I just provided, you can save yourself 10% using promo code SAVANT, SAVANT. So let's see who else is in here. We've got JW Morissette. Let's see what he says. He was in a few minutes late. Not sure if we already went over the backbone of the business, use case, target market, and so on. I think he's referring to CasinoCoin. We will be touching on CasinoCoin here very shortly. We want to take a deep dive into the mind and the operating aspect of BooneRings.com with Tyler's sector dealing with the crypto merchandise and relationships. So we'll get there very shortly. Bones TEP looks like he put out a $10 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. He says he picked up a keychain and a Zum card using XRP. Both products came out awesome. He appreciates the help after USPS lost his first order. That happens. USPS is notorious for that. Has nothing to do with, of course, the operations of Boone Rings, and he's very aware, it sounds like. So, hey, look, it's not if problems will arise, it's how you handle them when they do, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like there was a happy ending. We've got Victor Hammond out there. He needs that hat. He's sending love. Hey, you know what's amazing? And I'm not just saying this. I received my CasinoCoin hat and my CasinoCoin token from BooneRings.com in the relatively near time frame.
Yeah.
There's something about wearing both. I'm not kidding. When I throw on my CasinoCoin pendant, I've got my chain on, and I wear my token as a chain. If you didn't know that, I put a little keeper on it, a little clasp or whatever. And I wear it now as a chain. I had an old dog tag, believe it or not, that I took off and now threw my token because it actually worked out beautifully. Even though it didn't have the hole at top, I could still feed through a little clasp or whatever in order to make it into a chain. And then, like I said, my daughter's taken full advantage of that now, and she loves wearing jewelry. So she's wearing the CasinoCoin pendant. And anyways, we're battling for it every day. But so
that's awesome.
Between the hat and it just shows the demand for product though, right? Yeah. Whether it's a hat, a t-shirt, we have BooneRings.com's vast array of product. People like to represent their companies, their investments, their interests, their hobbies, right? Their sports teams, all the rest of it. So what a fantastic opportunity for people to do just that. And the vast array of options that you can get, color combinations, personalization, QR codes, rings, pendants, keychains, the titanium card, which we'll touch on in a minute. I've got something in store for everybody, and Tyler and I have got a little game plan we might touch on. We might just have to let everybody know what's going to take place there. So who else in the chat? We've got Crypto Wild. What's up, man? We've got Crypto Beast. Hey there. Aloha.
Aloha.
Yeah. So we've got Bernard Rath. He says hi. What's up, Bernard? And Sarah King says, I meet around 400 to 500 different people per month and I travel. I'm about to promote the coin like crazy. Hey, we have to go hand in hand with all of what Tyler and I are talking about here. Code Ward is putting together one of the most epic, if not the most epic giveaway for CasinoCoin merchandise that you could ever imagine from any crypto project. Okay.
Yeah,
and BooneRings.com has a lot of impact on that giveaway. Lots of merchandise that they have donated themselves. I have donated BooneRings.com merchandise, keychain. We have pendants. We have all sorts of different product that's going to be given away to the community. And
there's going to be
just amazing.
Well. So one of these rings is going to be a grand prize.
Yes. Look at that. There it is. The titanium CasinoCoin ring. Okay. So that's kind of like the grand finale, like he says. And so what an exciting time. We're going to definitely dive more into Boone Rings here shortly. We do have a lot of CasinoCoin support out here in the chat. So let's touch on briefly. We don't have to go down the rabbit hole with CasinoCoin as far as like where things are exactly, the price, and try to really get lost in information. But right now, just in both of ours, very short experience in time being invested in CasinoCoin, I didn't get invested until earlier this year. And I think you're this year as well, right?
Right.
So both of us sitting here, you can compare this to your own progression with BooneRings.com and the crypto sector, how things can progress, how fast they are progressing. Yeah, we've been light in the breaking news area here as of late, but look at what we started out with. We started out with a revamping of a project.
Yeah. Well, and it's not easy to do either. I mean, like swapping the token from one blockchain to another and dealing with all the logistics of that and having all these, you know, thousands of holders that are like, wait, what happened? Like, what do I do? And, you know, as a team, that's a very stressful time. And they got through that with, you know, relatively few issues, I would say.
Right.
And so that's a pretty big accomplishment in of itself. And now we're on a blockchain that, you know, honestly, XRP is personally my favorite token. And none of what either of us are saying is financial advice, by the way, but it's just, you know, XRP is just a phenomenal project that, you know, is showing just through just sheer like action, like what it's capable of doing. And, you know, the transaction speed and just all of the utility behind this coin is now the backbone of CasinoCoin. You know, and so Casino is all the same functionalities, and, you know, they're going to be able to build their own X app on the Sun wallet that, you know, we can use for gambling. And I mean, it is going to be absolutely crazy. They do have casinos lined up. We don't know which ones they are at this time, but, you know, there are casinos going through pilots right now, and all of this takes time, you know, and like a lot of times people just get really impatient with stuff. They expect things to happen yesterday, but with something this big, you know, obviously a casino, they need to be able to like make sure that this is going to work for them. They have to go through their due diligence, or else they're going to be screwed over. And it's really difficult to get a massive institution like a casino to, you know, buy into something that's new, like a new technology that might or might not work, because they don't want to be the first ones to, you know, experience the loss there. So it's a very difficult thing that the team is trying to do right now. And so I understand like a lot of what they're doing, or like a lot of their next steps are out of their direct control. They're having to rely on other like companies and other partnerships to kind of come through and all come together and make agreements. And it's not easy to do that. So like, I get it. But, you know, it's like all of us want it to just moon tomorrow. I get that too. But like, you know, we have to be realistic, and we have to understand just really kind of behind the scenes, there's a lot that's going into this. So, and
there's something I want to touch on too, as far as the moon aspect with this project, which I do think will happen at some level. Yeah, so this conversation is for everybody in the chat, of course, but more directly to JW Morissette. He had contacted me on YouTube on my channel down in the comments on a video. And he's like, man, where's your CasinoCoin content? I'm getting tired of this, that, the other. And he was frustrated, like many investors have voiced themselves. You're not alone in that. Okay. All of us want to hear breaking news. We want to hear the latest developments like today. That's a natural feeling when you have money at stake, you are invested. We're dealing with not only other human beings, we're dealing with technology, and we're dealing with many different companies, call it. So everything has to fall into place perfectly for everything to line up. And it is to give you confidence. It is happening. It is lining up. We have to be patient. And so I don't hold CasinoCoin to any timelines. There's been a few examples of quote unquote timelines that haven't quite been hit. That's not really true, because they never gave an exact date. It was kind of like, yeah, August could be a big month. September could be a big month. Now we're in October. What Daniel did say to kind of just wash all that away is that by the end of the year, everything they've been working to accomplish should be taken care of, should be released. We're talking about the X app, the reveal of the casino partnerships and relationships, and so on and so forth. So I'm not even going to hold him to that. But we do have some expectation. We have to have some level of expectation for progression and the major announcements that we know are coming. So as far as JW Morissette goes, hey, you know, the backbone of the company is that we have CSC Nation, the strongest, most loyal group of people to a project that I'm aware of. Yeah. We have the team, the CasinoCoin team that has been revamped entirely with phenomenal individuals, very talented professionals in the crypto world. We have Daniel Keller, who's leading the pack with his experience directly related to online gambling. He's got a very vast knowledge and experience with this exact type of situation to get companies, whether it's CasinoCoin or any other, to the next step of regulation and putting them into position to be very successful. Okay.
Yeah.
And I have all the faith in his experience and his drive and efforts behind the project, certainly. So, one thing I want to touch on about the trading price. Okay. So we've seen a very consistent plateaued type graph in the last month or two, right? What I think's happening, and I don't want to carry on and on with this. I'll let you chime in, Tyler, here in a second and get your thoughts on this. This is where I'm coming from, my perspective right now. Casinos don't really want a token that's extremely volatile. Gambling in and of itself is a risk. The house has a very slight edge to begin with, okay? While they are extremely profitable, casinos don't want USDT or any fiat to be moving wildly. So I'm not saying that the price is manipulated, but for whatever reason, as we get closer to the XApp launch and being able to use the token, things seem to have plateaued greatly. Very stable. It's not a stable coin, but it's very stable. I'm okay with that. I like that. What I think is going to happen, and I'll let you touch on this in a second if you agree or have anything to add.
Yep.
We are at a certain level right now. The CasinoCoin Lobby XApp launches. Likely the price appreciates. We get a whole new round of potential customers. They enter at the latest upward swing. Things plateau. We get all of their customers lined up with CasinoCoin using the product, using the token, having CSC enabled accounts. All those figures rise, things stable out. The launch of those half a dozen or dozen casinos increases the price again. And we kind of keep having this upswing, this plateau, another upswing, a plateau, and so on and so forth. Can you elaborate on that if you agree or disagree? Or
I think there's largely truth to that. And I think right now, like you said before, that this community is extremely supportive of the project. We kind of understand like the goings on behind the scenes of what the team is up to and what they're trying to do here. And so we've got a lot of faith and we're here long term. So I don't see a lot of people that hold this project right now selling, because in order to even buy this, you have to go through, there's only two or three exchanges that you can even buy this on. So it's hard to even buy to begin with. So you have to kind of know what it is that you're getting into before you can get into it. So I think that pretty much all of the investors of this coin are, very well aware of what the project is doing, and they have faith long term. So the other day we had a major price decline, and then immediately, boom, rebounded to back where it was, because a lot of people were like, oh man, this is a bargain. And they just bought it because they have that much faith in the project, and they just found a lower price, and they were like, boom, and it recovered in 2 minutes, which is insane. So that just tells me that we, for whatever reason, like you said, we are staying at this same kind of price, but that's just, and we haven't had breaking news. Like we talked about, we haven't had really anything major come out, not casino partnerships named. We haven't had the big exchange that we're expecting. There's the XApp hasn't launched yet. So there's a lot of things that we know are going to happen that have yet to happen. So I think the people that are invested in this coin kind of expect for the price to increase as more people know about it. And that's going to happen when you get those events happening, right? So we're here early, and therefore we're incurring a lot more risk, because this could just go to zero tomorrow. We don't know, but there is, I think, a lot more upside potential than there is downside potential personally. And that's why I'm in this project, and I haven't bet the farm on it, but I definitely have a solid position that I'm happy with. And I'm willing to ride this out till the end. And just see what happens with it. But when we get to that point, where you have this XApp being utilized and you have casino coins just flying around the blockchain just like crazy. You have volume on top of volume. You have people actually able to play these casino games and really utilize it for what it's meant for. Because right now it's just a token just like XRP, and there's not really that much of a difference right now. But
Yes.
there will be.
I agree
And that's
with
the
you.
whole point of this, you know. And so like when there is that difference, I think that's when we're going to really start to see the utility come out. And again, also, the XRP ledger, like we said before, humongous project, absolutely amazing. It's got major legs, but like the projects built on top of XRP, I think are going to be like the projects built on Ethereum back in, 2015, whatever, that then became massive, top 20 coins. And I really believe that there will be a day where XRP projects will get that big. And I think CasinoCoin will certainly be one of them because it was the first, real big coin on the network. So, and then you had the explosion of trust lines that came out, but like, and most of them are probably going to go to zero, but like there will be a select few that will do extremely well because they've focused on more than just, oh, like, let's just open a trust line and write a bullshit white paper and just, make money. This is real. Like they're solving real problems here. And they know about the industry that they're getting involved in, and like that's I think really what investors should look at is like, is this project really solving a problem? Is it doing something different than the original baseline asset, or is it just a way for the founders to make money? I mean, which is it, right? So like, it's important for us to kind of ask these questions and be realistic. And I think that CasinoCoin does have a lot of really powerful use cases, and if it gets adopted by this industry, which it's looking like a lot of casinos are getting into cryptocurrencies, and what better crypto to use than CasinoCoin? Like if you use Ethereum, you're going to be spending all this money in fees. If you use Bitcoin, it's going to take forever and not be practical. Like there are certain tokens that could work, but this is meant for that. They have a dedicated team of people that are going to be helping the casinos onboard, get set up with their backend app. They're going to help them with the transactions, make sure everything's up to snuff. I mean, it's a big deal because it's a service on top of the coin itself. Because again, anyone can build on top of XRP and have all the same functionalities, but that's not enough in order for a project to be worth something, because why not just use XRP? This is different. And I think that the price will reflect that one day, but I think we just have to be patient for now and just let the team get through the milestones they have to get through and just see what happens.
I agree with you. And to give more confidence, even just amongst the community and potential investors, or even Tyler and I, we're all wanting and anxiously awaiting more developments and more confidence with the project. And I just want to see the technology being used. I can't wait to see how the user operator benefit. I'm very excited to see that. We know the technology, we know what it's supposed to accomplish. To actually realize the benefits for both user operator, for CasinoCoin, for investors, it's just another example of what the future holds with cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. So what I want to touch on is Code Ward just stated. He says, where did that go here? Code Ward is actually testing the XApp currently. He said he can't give any more information. So everybody,
that's awesome.
To be very blunt, things are happening. Things are progressing. The XApp is being tested by ours truly, Code Ward.
Right.
Okay.
That's
who
awesome.
should at some point be part of the CasinoCoin team. I would vouch for Code Ward to be on the team. Very much so.
Their whole crypto portfolio into this token, I would say that he's pretty dedicated to the project. So
absolutely.
It would make total sense.
I wanted to, we'll buzz through the chat again. We've got quite an active chat. I'm really happy that everybody's enjoying themselves and participating with Boone Rings. Tyler and I here, we're having a good time, just shooting the breeze, guys. Code Ward says impatience is our worst enemy.
Yeah, it is.
It absolutely is. It not only makes you potentially make poor decisions with your investment, it brings out emotions and I hear people conversing with each other and tweeting, and that's not who people are. I know people are better than that. We have weak moments and we get frustrated and discouraged and things come out. I give everybody a pass. You've got many strikes when you're dealing with me. I'm very easygoing, but I understand it, actually, believe it or not, but we do have to show patience here. Okay. And so yeah, like Code Word says, the team's not just sitting on their hands, right?
No, they're definitely moving, running silently in the dark, like just doing their thing, like working to the grind, putting their sword to the grindstone or whatever the term is. They're doing it. Yeah.
So Bernard says, hey, I'm just checking out the designs on Boone's website and I'm super impressed.
Nice. Appreciate it.
So there we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Guys, this isn't I've been an affiliate with BooneRings.com from early on, right when I saw the CasinoCoin token and knew about the company and had conversed with Tyler and we got along great, and just his level of communication and the product and the materials. And I've always been very supportive with or without being an affiliate.
Right.
I can offer you a 10% discount if you'd like to purchase something with the Savant promo code. That's just part of the deal. That's not, I don't offer that for myself. I offer that for, more importantly, for Boone Rings and also for the consumer. Yeah. Why not save 10% on your purchase? Okay. So have fun with the site, buzz through it, see what you like, see what you want to narrow down some options and make a purchase. They do offer payment through crypto as well, not just through the traditional means of transacting. So keep that in mind. And I'm happy that you like their site. I know Tyler's happy. It is a great site and it showcases their product very well. Let's jump in back to Boone Rings. So we've kind of heard your history with where things started, your background as a child, your education, your degree in engineering, I believe, from Georgia Tech.
Yep.
And so one thing led to another. It's not surprising that you're sitting here representing BooneRings.com on the crypto side of things. It seems like a really natural, organic progression, whether or not you had set out to do exactly this. That's the natural twists and turns of life, which makes things fascinating, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And so we're sitting here today. You have a lot to hang your hat on in the last just handful of months. We all know that. You have a high demand for your product from many communities. Can you delve into your latest partnerships, some affiliates that you're very proud of to have captured, and some future developments? Where is Boone Rings going to be? Not only towards the end of this year, how do you want to finish this year real strong? And what does the next year or two look like? Or can you kind of just give us some insight as where you think things are headed?
Sure. Yeah, these are all great questions. Wow. So I would say that, so as far as affiliates go, we have really been doing well with that. Of course, we've got Gambling Savant, we've got Code Word as well, but we also landed Flare Community, which, that massive channel in the Flare ecosystem. I mean, he's doing like a 24/7 live stream right now of just the Songbird price, and like it's like a virtual, like an office, and on the desk there's business cards and it'll say Boone Rings on it and stuff, and it's just so cool. Like
that is cool.
I talk to him fairly regularly through Twitter and stuff, and it's just been wonderful. There was someone else I met on Twitter, and she knows a lot of people within the Stellar ecosystem, actually, and so she just actually had a bulk order through us where she ordered a bunch of different, like she got with the project creators for a bunch of different tokens on the Stellar ecosystem and got all their permission to use, like, for me to design a medallion. And then they're in the back right now, so later I can actually go back there and show you guys.
I'd love to see it. Yeah.
But so we've got 33 or 35 different medallions. They're the double thickness 2-inch, the big ones, right? And each of them is for a different project. And they're all going to be put together. They're all going to have custom engraving on it from the project creators. And they're all going to be a gift to this person named Whiplash, or he goes by Whiplash. I don't know how many people in the chat know who that is, but apparently he's a big time developer on the Stellar ecosystem. And he's built a few projects himself. And he, has a Telegram group with like 400 something thousand people in it.
Wow.
And he says, hey, this project has legs, like check it out. And then
Sure.
he turns people into millionaires just by his recommendation. So he's very well respected in the community. I didn't know anything about him, but like now I'm introduced to him, and so like, and this is going to be, a big gift for him from the community, all these people that are thanking him for his service. So that's crazy.
That's very crazy. And look at how happy and surprised he's going to be to receive your product that
I know.
you not only created, you had your hands on it with the final touches, and a lot of you is being delivered through that product, especially
Right.
when you get into the more personalized pieces that you're receiving something that had tender love and care put behind it, the TLC, right?
Right.
And it's like,
exactly.
wow. I mean,
Yeah. And each one of those I had to design on, like, based on the logo. Some of them were pretty simple and some of them were like, wow, this is super intricate. How am I going to cut this out? Or like, what am I going to do?
sure.
And, have all of them designed, all of them cut out, all of them sanded, all the sides beveled right now. Now I just have to anodize all of them and then do the engraving, and then that order will be done and I can ship it out and then move on to the next bulk order, which is almost done as well. It's a project called CasinoCoin, and it's a new thing coming out, and it's something to do with blockchain for the record label industry. And I'm not
Awesome.
100% sure exactly what they're doing, but I know that they have artists and record labels on board with the project right now. They're about to launch it like on Monday. So like it's a big deal, and they ordered 100 keychains from me, and I have some back here.
It's a massive industry.
It is, yeah.
Needless to say, I mean, substantial industry.
So this is one of them. It says CasinoCoin on it. It's
Wow.
a lot of pierces on it. So
look at how detailed the little tiny stars around the edge are. Yeah. I can't believe those lasers can do that.
It's crazy. I was trying to get a quote from to outsource the laser cutting, because it's getting to the point where we've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of things to cut. And so for the last couple of bulk orders, I just went ahead and ordered a laser cut company to just go ahead and do the cutting for us so that we could just focus on finishing them.
Yeah.
But, I think they use nitrogen for their laser instead of argon. And so there was some nitric oxide layers on the edges, and it just really didn't look as precise and clean as what we can do with our system.
Yeah, that's what it does. Look very super clean. That's a good way to put it.
So like,
and that's, hey, so you are expanding your outsourcing aspect, where it's a potential when you get a bulk order of 500 or 1,000 units. So you're looking into potentially using a third party to expand your services and also keep up with the efficiency. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. Because if you think about it, like if we just get these orders shipped in where we have the pieces pre-cut, then all we have to focus on is the finishing. So all of the labor and time that it takes to actually produce and cut could just be a matter of paying the company to do that. So it's like, really, we're saving ourselves labor, and it might actually come out to where, it could save us money in the long run by just reducing the time.
Right.
But at the same time, though, like I really went through the numbers on this, and I figured out our costs per keychain, the amount of argon that we use, the amount of material, and the cost per unit, and then the profit margins. And I really made spreadsheets and figured out okay, if we made it ourselves versus if we did it through a company like SendCutSend, what would the difference be? And I think honestly that it makes sense for us to still do it in-house, because there's ways that I can, for example, we just got plates of titanium that are bigger than what we normally get, and are pretty much exactly the size of our machining bed. So we fill the whole bed and cut a whole plate at a time. And so right now I need to figure out a way that I can level the bed so that, the leftmost corner versus the top rightmost corner is the same height, because otherwise the laser will get stalled and drag on the surface and ruin the part. So if we can level that bed really precisely, then we can cut a whole plate at a time without needing to, I could just make a program at the beginning of the day, say, okay, we got an order for this, and this, get all those designs, put them all into one file, and then just make a toolpath for it and then run it. And then it's cutting in the morning.
Wow.
I'm finishing the ones from yesterday. We could turn it into a process, and just with a few people in the shop, we can really turn out thousands of pieces a week.
And I know you've mentioned even via Twitter and some of our conversations, how you're already finding ways, just little things here and there to increase ever so slightly your efficiency. And that's part of the process. It's like the growing pains, right? Where you have to adjust with the demand for your product.
Right.
And so it looks like in the chat, we've got a handful of people that are very interested and impressed with your product so far.
Cool.
I want to say hi to Mantis911. He says CSC XRP, outstanding potential. Let's realize it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here we are. We love the CasinoCoin community. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the live stream today. Tyler and I are having a great time discussing his venture with BooneRings.com and the crypto sector. Of course, Gambling Savant being here as host. I'm happy to be doing this and spending my time this way. I really enjoy it. We've got a great community here as well. A lot of support for the channel and lots of big things to come. We're living in interesting times. So the progression and some things that I want to accomplish are, they're not taking the back burner right now, but I have to be tactful as a way in the speed at which I progress with the channel and things that I want to accomplish as well. I'm having a great time with it. It's a hobby of mine. I do this for entertainment more than anything. I enjoy it. I don't do this for a living. I don't consider this even a means of income, really. It's just, it's something that I have a passion for. I love all the odds and statistics and the investment aspect. I love meeting people like Tyler Boone. I've met a lot of fantastic people, and there's more value there for me than anything. And to be able to spend time today with Tyler Boone is very important to me. And that's why I'm here. So Code Ward says, T Boone's merch is top notch. I love the pendant hanging in my rearview mirror. There you go. You know what I mean? So you can kind of like my CasinoCoin token became a pendant. I ended up just like, you know what? I pulled a dog tag out of a little box I had some jewelry in, and I hadn't worn it for years. And I'm like, you know what? I think I can just take the dog tag off this little clasp and put the CasinoCoin token on there. And I did, and it worked out beautifully. And so now I wear it as a necklace, but I had used it as a card protector. Yep. I had carried it in my pocket. I just liked having it with me or on me. And I think everybody will experience that same type of sensation or feeling towards these pieces, because they are very personal. You can get a custom color. You can do lots of different things compared to any other company. I've never experienced this before, to be able to walk around with a dog tag supporting your investment with your Zum wallet QR code on the back, for example. Like, that's crazy to me. Like I said in a tweet, BooneRings.com, their product now has actual utility in the world of crypto.
Yeah, I think that's essentially a great point that you just brought up, is the utility. Because like before, it's like, okay, it's cool to have a CasinoCoin keychain or whatever, no big deal. There's definitely people out there that would want that. But I think even more people out there would want something that's more functional, something that they could actually use on a regular basis to get paid with. I mean, that's crazy. A QR code has so many possibilities. I mean, it doesn't even have to just be crypto. Like with those cards, you can have your payment QR code on one side, and then on the back, you can have your website. You can have your online portfolio, your online business card, your Twitter profile. I mean, that's what I use mine for. I have my Twitter profile on the back of my card that I carry around in my wallet. So it's really cool. And it's easy enough to do from a procedural standpoint on my side. I just type in the URL or the destination or whatever, and then generate a code and then save it as an SVG file. Put it in the, it's not that difficult to do, but it's really functional. And I think people really appreciate that. And I think it's really cool. So that's exciting.
Code Ward's got a question for you. He says, when Tangem cardholder?
Right. Yeah. I don't know if I told you about it, but that was an idea that Codeword had. I don't know if I posted it or not, but he sent me a picture of like the QR code card that I had, and he nipped out the end of it and was like, if you could kind of make it double layered and have like a little pocket where you slide a card in there, and then you can put it out with the thumb pull. You still have the QR code and everything on it. You still anodize it and have the little watermarks on there, but it's like it holds your tangent card.
I'm liking it, Codeword. I like the vision there.
Like, man, he's the idea guy.
So we've got Bernard in the chat. He says, I want to know why Discovery Channel is on the Boone website.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that was something that was really cool. Back in 2014, I believe it was, or 13. There was a product that we have called the Man Ring, which is just a ring that has a bunch of like little Swiss Army knife type tools on there. I've seen it. Yeah, that product went viral that year. Like it really, bloggers picked it up and they started talking about it just out of nowhere. And then it just like spread across the internet like wildfire. And then we had websites like dudeIwantthat.com and, you know, a bunch of like kind of niche, you know, websites that sell gadgets and stuff. They all listed it. They all wanted to have it on there.
Wow.
So they partnered. And then the Discovery Channel from Canada was like, hey, can we, you know, stop by your shop and like just interview you? And my dad was like, I guess, I mean, why not? And so they did a segment on it, and I'll actually post it on Twitter because I haven't posted that video yet, but I
do. It sounds like there's some interest with that. And so I think we're prepared enough to kind of voice, speaking of Discovery Channel and how it's made, should we touch on a little deal we have kind of put together, a vision for not only your product, but for Gambling Savant here? So what Tyler and I are going to do, I'm going to have a titanium card put together with my ZUM information, my QR code. It's going to be ultra customized to the sense that even the configuration of the card, we're going to do a little tweak on it to kind of make it ultra customized. I'm going to have a QR code for Twitter, QR code for YouTube on there, all of my personal information. And we're going to go to lengths that maybe we haven't gone to yet. I don't know if that's true or not, but we're going to do it super customized titanium card for myself here. And what we're going to do, and if you could voice yay or nay in the chat, I think it'd be a ultimate immediate yes to this question. But would you like to see a how it's made type video from start to finish? And Tyler's going to go through the entire process from the cutting of the material to all of the steps of customization, how it happens, the thoughts, the process, the hand touches, and we'll showcase that on my channel here and go full circle with anything that he wants to add. And then I'll kind of maybe stop the video here and there and chime in like, hey, look at this or that, and how impressed I am with their quality of work and materials. So yeah, Bernard's saying he'd love to see it. Cool. So we're going to do a how it's made type video, literally from start to finish. Now I know Tyler's put out a lot of tweets with showing the laser at work, and there's been some hand, finishing touches and some vision on different color combinations that he's displayed. Everybody seems to really like that. So we're going to kind of encompass all of that together on one video. It may be 20, 30 minutes long. We don't know yet, but it's going to be very interesting. I'm actually very interested myself to see the full process and really take a deep dive into the operations of BooneRings.com and show you, not only do we get a lot of insight on the expertise it takes, the equipment, the specialized equipment, very detailed machines. We also get to see at what length you can go to as far as customizing any given piece, which I think is really going to be the fun part to showcase. How far can an individual go with customization?
Yeah. And
what are your thoughts on what we've got pieced together here?
I'm excited about it, man. I think a lot of people probably don't realize just how custom things can be. And it's hard to delineate that through the website. It's like,
right.
Like there's only so many options I can even put on there with Shopify. They kind of limit me on how many
Yes.
combinations of things I can have. And so I'm kind of trying to, I have to be a little creative sometimes on how like I list everything. But like with this card, you know, of all the people that have ordered a card so far, you know, like some of them had some custom stuff, but like really none of them got anything outlandish, you know, like it wasn't like they weren't utilizing the full extent of like
Right.
that they could have, you know what I mean? Which is fine. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying,
Sure.
like,
Sure.
you know, there's a lot more that I could do with it, and
Yes.
so I'm really excited to get going on this one, and it's going to be a fun one. But you know what's crazy is that like I have 4 bulk orders to get through right now, and like one of them is from Hugo Fillion from Flare Networks. He just ordered 250 keychains. 125 Flare keychains and 125 Songbird ones. And
Beautiful.
he also wants me to make a video of how it's made, of like all the keychains that Flare Networks can actually post on their Twitter page.
Yes, there you go.
It's blowing my mind right now because that's so many people that are going to get exposure to this. And he's going to be using these for giveaways. So all of these keychains and stuff are going to be given away to random people, and each one of them is going to have like, well, not each of them is going to have a unique, but there's going to be a lot of unique fades. So they're all going to be fades of some kind, and I'll just get kind of creative with all the different fades, but they're going to like, a lot of them are not going to be the same as the others, if that makes sense. So I'm super excited about that order. And then Coin Dropper, Chris Thompson, he ordered a bunch of these like rocket ship emoji keychains. And he wants exclusive rights to them for a few months, which is totally fine. But
Beautiful.
He ordered a whole bunch of them, and
Yes.
he's going to be using that through his app, the Coin Dropper app. So like, it's crazy exciting what's going on. You know?
And you have individuals like myself. I don't have my official logo like set in stone. I've kind of tweaked this and tweaked that, and I have a couple different visions on what I want to have my final logo be. I have the YouTube logo, and that's why I haven't put out any merchandise like hats and t-shirts yet. But I also, as a YouTube, content creator, I also want a keychain. I want my own pendant at some point, and I want to have, get in the mix with it. It's fun. And so like, here's another aspect of fun. Okay. You can't do this with all products. And especially when it comes down to jewelry and things that you just happen to purchase offline randomly, you don't get this experience. So I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm going to hide a little bit of what I had drawn up. But as a consumer, as a supporter of BooneRings.com, and the fact that we're going to do this video, and I'm going to get a super customized titanium card with a lot of information on it, I get to create my own vision essentially, and then have Tyler put it into his own hands and kind of be the creator of it of sorts. Right. And so I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag, but I have a lot of information and ideas written on a piece of paper, which is fun for me.
Yeah.
I'll tweak this and tweak that and think of something randomly. I have it sitting on my desk all the time. So I'll just randomly have a thought, and I'll be like, you know what? I get the pen out or the pencil and I'll make a little tweak. And I'm like, let's try that. I'm excited for this video. I'm excited for the opportunity for Tyler to showcase their entire shop and the entire process, but I'm also ultra excited to be able to create my own piece and have it very, very customized.
I'm excited.
So you can do that.
It's
and
so cool.
It is so cool. Like, I don't know what else to say about it. It's cool. Right. It's fun. And I'm going to be very proud of that piece. I can assure you. And I know that Tyler's proud to make it and produce it. So that's just part of the fun. You don't have the opportunity to do that. It's kind of like being an architect of sorts. You get to create a blueprint for something of your own. And that's very awesome. And is there anything you want to show us? I know you mentioned a couple pieces that you might have in store for us. It might be time, if you want, we can buzz through the shop and kind of just see what the latest progression is, what you have in store, some new designs potentially, or any new equipment, or just kind of where things have landed in the last handful of months.
Absolutely. I think I'm going to have to set my phone up real quick to be able to walk around.
Okay.
But in the meantime, there are a couple more affiliates I wanted to shout out. So
absolutely,
the SEC coin, of course,
Yeah.
huge deal. He keeps ordering some more keychains that I can do giveaways for, which is kind of cool because it's like that's a unique model of like he buys for me and then I just like ship it to the
Right.
person who gets it or whatever, and like and even we've done that too.
Yeah. Yeah, we have.
That's just really cool to me that he wants to do
That's
that and just support his own community that he's building.
absolutely.
And he's getting into NFTs now. I'm sure you guys have seen the Eagles that he's doing. That is like, they look so good. Like I might actually buy one. Not
Yeah. Yeah, that's fun, man.
Yeah,
Thinking
and
outside
like,
the box.
yeah, and so he keeps offering to help me with NFTs and stuff because like I had mentioned to you, I want to get into NFTs as well in some capacity, and like I think that we could do that a number of ways. I think one way is that we could have well, first of all, too, another affiliate is That Motion Studio. I don't know how many of the followers have heard about them, but they do really cool stuff where you can track. I have it on my backpack right now, actually.
Yeah, let's check it out.
So right here, it says That Motion Studio on it, and you can actually like show that or scan it with your phone, and it'll turn into an AR experience, and it'll follow it around.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's really cool. And they're doing some big things, but they're kind of new. Like they only have like 200 or 300 followers, but what they're doing is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
And I encourage you guys to follow it. It's at That Motion on Twitter. Just check them out and see what they do, because it's really cool. And they're getting into NFTs themselves. They're getting into more different AR applications. And I tell you, some of the stuff they post is just absolutely amazing. And they're more excited, I think, than even I am, of partnering together, because like their stuff that they've been working on is now able to be on like physical merchandise that people can utilize.
Right. Yeah.
And
that's
so
amazing.
I think there's something huge to be said about like merging the real physical world with like the metaverse and stuff like that through AR and through these other experiences, and then Web3, where you can have the value flowing between the metaverse and the real world economy. There's so much potential. It's hard to even wrap your head around what that means. Like where you have gaming ecosystems that have money that you can trade that you can actually use in the real world as well. Like, what does that mean? Where you can buy like real estate in a game and then monetize it,
right,
and then use it to buy a car in the real world. Like it is insane how that's
it really is.
And like, and we're in the ground floor of this. And I just really believe that, say for example, you own like 15 NFTs and they're like these cool artistic pieces. Like what if you had a keychain that someone could scan and then it just projects all of your NFTs in your collection in the AR space, and then you can walk around and look at it from different angles, and that's possible.
Wow.
It's possible.
It's almost like we have to live in the present moment, even though we want to be super educated and see what's to come. But like the mind is so powerful and so expansive that like we could get potentially lost, because isn't it? It's truly fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is likely to happen in the next decade or two?
Right.
I mean, it could be mind blowing.
Crazy what's possible already. It's just a matter of like, can regulations catch up with the rate of innovation? Like, can we actually?
Yes.
And we have to break through a lot of obstacles right now. There's a lot of incumbents that are very threatened at the moment, and obviously they're going to do everything they can to stop this revolution from happening. But it's not going to work. I can tell you that right now. I mean,
exactly.
Again, not financial advice, but that's just my opinion based on what I've seen so far. Like, there is no stopping this train.
I agree with you 100%.
NFTs and all this stuff is really good. And then especially when you have NFTs on the XRP ledger, where it's very, very cheap and very fast, it's like all of a sudden, I think that opens up a lot more applications for NFTs than just like a single physical or a single, non-fungible token item type thing. You can do all kinds of stuff, concert tickets and just whatever, and then tie something real to it. Like, I want to be able to make merch in limited runs, right? So it's like, say I do a run of like 25 things and it's very intricate, unique. I make 25 of them in advance, engrave the serial code 1 of 25, 2 of 25, have an NFT tied to each one of them, and then auction them.
Yeah.
And like, that's totally possible. And like, I just, because there is something to be said about doing bulk orders of things and doing hundreds and hundreds of items, which is fine. I'm totally okay with that. I love the business. But
Right.
I think what is really cool is like, if I just focused really hard on making 25 really awesome things, incorporated like, precious metals and meteorites
Yes.
and all kinds of, and do this and acrylic and just whatever, make it just really out there. And then say there's only 25 of these that will ever exist, and it's tied to an NFT that you can do something with. And I need to work with a couple people on how exactly to do that. And maybe the Aesthetes group, or however you pronounce that, through the XRP ledger, like they're working on phygital NFTs. I mean, I just think that there's so many partnerships yet to be made that will eventually come through. And
I agree. And look at, the auction type setting with your pieces that you've held so far that are in the traditional sense of the auction aspect, or the one of a kind type piece, where you get into the NFTs and it's like an explosion of something that who knows what the potential is with that as far as getting involved. And like what I've realized too, the XRPL, it just solidifies crypto in general and shows its true use case and utility and, benefits. Because when you look at, using Ethereum and all the gas fees and everything, or it's like, does it make sense? I mean, decentralized, this, that, the other, you can go down all these different terms where you like hearing some of that, but then you get down to the nitty gritty. It's like, dude, I don't want to keep paying $20 and $30 per transaction.
Yeah.
And it's slow, and it's like the XRPL has legitimized crypto without getting into great detail. I think that's just a safe way to put it. It's allowing cryptocurrency and the means of transacting to be completely legitimized.
Yeah.
For anybody who was questioning it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's ready to go. It's ready for institutional use. It's ready for scale. It's just a mature, well thought out blockchain that just works. You know what I mean? It's
right.
And so that's why I have no problem at all just stacking this coin and like not really trying to diversify too awful much. I mean, I do have a selection, but like the majority is XRP.
Yes,
and tokens on that blockchain as well. But
totally.
It's anyway.
I hear you, man. So what do you got? You gonna buzz through the take us a tour through the shop and show us some machines and whatever else you got going on?
We're gonna go through all of it.
Code Ward says T Boone virtual tour ? Yes. Yeah, here we go.
All right. Oh. Okay.
We hear you loud and clear.
All right, cool. Okay, so I guess I can just mute or stop the video on this one. Okay, cool. So I don't know if I can flip my camera around.
Real quick, JW Morissette, the individual who I had conversed with on YouTube and wanted to hear some developments on CasinoCoin. He says, very informative, guys. Thanks. Got to get ready for a conference call. CSC forever. There we go, JW, man. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for coming full circle with us on the latest developments and where things stand with CasinoCoin. We're hopping into the BooneRings.com shop right now. He's going to show us some new latest developments with product, and everybody take a seat and get out your bag of popcorn. It's going to be fun. Here we go.
Cool. So this is 25 of those Starcoin keychains, the gold versions of them. And so he ordered 100 total, but 25 of them are going to be gold, and those are complete now. And then 50 of them are going to be this like purple to green fade, which I love. I love that fade so much. And then there's just a couple other things. I'm sure some of you guys recognize that BitBoy Crypto, largest YouTube channel in crypto space. Working to get in with them. I, have heard back. They just take a while to respond. I don't know if it's going to end up working out, which is totally fine. I've got plenty of other leads here, but Lumen Swap. Look at that cannabis. Hey, so we're going to a bike show in Sedona, Arizona next month, and it's legal over there. So I figured we could probably sell a bunch of those. So we're just gonna bring them just because. And then Bifrost. So I'm in the door with them. I'm revising these keychains when I get a chance. I think they wanted to have these pieces a little bit thicker, so that's totally doable. And then these are all just bike earrings that we're going to bring to the show with us. And then this is a cog pendant here, and it's got, the little spacer welded on there. So it's actually like a scale model of our real cogs. So
very cool.
That's pretty cool. And then this is exciting. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with the X Punks that just started on the XRPL. I got GK Family bought 12 of these things. And so I'm experimenting with those, trying to figure out how to do it properly. This one came out okay. I'm not super happy with it. Like the hair isn't gold like I want it to. The colors are not, perfect, but it's a solid first attempt, and I think I could do better. But have to get through a couple more orders before that. And then this is the camo version of the XRP Army dog tag. So I need to also experiment more with that to try to get it even better. But that's cool that we can do stuff like that. And we can do different types of camos and just all kinds of designs, geometric things, whatever. So yeah. So, all right. So back in the shop area here, my dad.
Hey, Code Ward makes a really good point here. When I talk, it'll switch the camera. So if I'm silent in between you kind of hopping around, just understand that I don't want to take any video off of your shop. So great, gotcha. Great observation there, Code Ward. Thank you, sir.
Cool. Yeah, I would have totally forgot about that. So yeah, good call. So this is kind of the laser layer here, is what we call it. So there we have 5 different lasers. This one's a CO2 laser, which really cuts like wood and acrylic and can engrave on those things. It doesn't do metal. It can engrave on metal if you have a certain like coating that you put over it, but we have these engraving lasers that are meant for metal here. This one is awesome, but it's broken right now, unfortunately. It's from Italy. So like the only people that can fix it are from Italy. And like with COVID and stuff, they couldn't get over here. So we bought a new one. It's smaller, but it actually does get the job done. And that's what I do all the crypto merch engraving on, is this laser right here. So it does a great job. And so hopefully we can get this one fixed at some point soon. And then we can have 2 lasers going at the same time all day long. And that would just be awesome, because I find myself waiting for this one a lot, because the engraved rings that we do, like this one, for example, it's got, a lot of black on it. So it takes a very long time to engrave it. It'll take about 3 or 4 hours. And so if this thing is going during the day and I need to get a QR card done, I just oftentimes have to push it to the next day because, of that. So hopefully we can get both of them up and running and really increase production. This laser here is the fiber laser that we use to cut all of our titanium. And so you can see down here, like all the titanium that we're going through. I mean, all these are just pieces that we've been cutting out. A lot of these, like these pieces here are for the man ring, just the different layers of the man ring that we put together. And yeah, so it's just kind of all these dog tags cut out here. So a lot of pieces here. And then also in the back, I'll show you, we have more titanium from cutting the bike parts. And it's just a whole bunch of titanium back here. And this is the thicker stock. This is the double thickness option on the site, this material. But yeah, sometimes I'll go through this box to try to find some scrap pieces that I can use to cut into. Because sometimes like the chainring ones, I'm not sure if I can find an example, but sometimes the chainring pieces, like here, there's some, extra space that I could, fit some stuff here and here and here, and get a few big orders out with just metal that's just kind of sitting in a scrap bin. So it's pretty cool to be able to turn scrap metal into a $60 piece that someone becomes really happy with. It's really exciting.
I have a question related to that real quick, Tyler.
Sure.
When you did, I forget what piece it was. It might've been an XRP piece, but you made it almost look like 3-dimensional, where it was layered almost. Was
Oh,
that
yeah.
was that two separate pieces of metal, or was that pushed out to give the effect?
So it was the same piece of metal, but what happened was we'll cut on this laser here, and like this one, and then actually I have let me turn the camera around again. So this is kind of like just our scrap bin of just parts that come out. I'm trying to find an example, but there are, the pieces that are left over from a cut like this right here. This is like the bottom of the XRP X that is just a leftover piece. So what I could do is sand this piece and finish it, and then kind of put it back into the hole that it came out of and laser weld it back into place at an offset. So I could, yeah. So like that's what this machine is here. It's a laser welder. So you actually hold the piece in your hands. You use this lens it's a magnifying glass with crosshairs on it. And then you just hit the pedal and it'll just shoot, precise laser beam, like right where the gap is. And it'll just weld the pieces together. And it's super strong. So like, it's not going to go anywhere. But what's cool is that, we can, finish and then anodize this a different color, and then laser weld it into place. And so you'll see kind of that cool effect of like, wow, it the background is purple, but then you get green and then you get a fade of the pieces and you get that cool look to it. So that was just something that we kind of stumbled across that we could do. And, and by the way, so these pieces down here, let's see. Yeah. So here's an example. This is one of the pieces that I got from that company that I was trying to outsource to. And it looks okay, but the sides, I don't know how focused this is, but the sides are just not great.
Yeah, we can see it. I see what you're saying, totally.
And that's after I tried to clean it too. It was a lot worse than that. I don't know if there's any in here that are, I think this one's even worse, but anyway, I just wasn't happy with it. So yeah, this one's a good example. I just was not happy with that. It's a lot of work to kind of clean that up, and it would just be better to cut it ourselves anyway and not even have to wait on the lead time. So, I think there's ways that we can streamline this and make it more efficient and kind of cut more in the background. Especially like I said, if we level this bed and can really like confidently walk away from the machine while it's cutting a large amount of stuff. And we just ordered a bunch more titanium, like I said, so we should be ready to go with that regard. So yeah. Now here, these two machines are CNC lathes. So they do bar stock type stuff. So just, like cylindrical pieces of metal. Up here we do that's how we cut the profiles of the titanium rings. So you have these tools here that'll kind of bore and then do contours and lines and stuff on the rings to get the profile. And they'll part it off, and then we do the hand finishing on the manual lathes back there. So yeah, and then this is our packaging station up here. So this is where I like package everything up. We'll wrap bike parts up in this stuff and heat seal it together and stuff. And then we've got 3 mills over here. They're all CNC mills, and they're definitely dated. Like you can see this one has gone through like 5 moves across the country. So I'm surprised it's even still working, but like the screen went dead. So my dad had to like replace it with like a more modern screen. And I mean, look at all this crap. I mean, it's a mess, but it still works. It still gets the job done. We cut all the bike parts on this one. So this is a fixture plate with the chain ring attachment on there. And then here's like a library of all the different fixtures that we can use to make bike parts. So you just essentially swap them out, and then you can, load up the new program and, run your parts. So this machine here is what we use to make the cranks for bikes. And I think we have some back here. I'll show you. And then this one is another mill, same kind of thing, concept as the other two. It has a 4th axis on it, so we can use it to do some more advanced work, but I don't know if the 4th axis is actually being used at the moment, but this one we're going to try to also make cranks on and kind of have both machines do them at the same time just to increase production. But every one of these machines has a different coding language that they use, so it's just not ideal. ideally we would like to get new machines that are very, streamlined and tight and have great tolerances and are fast, but those are expensive. So we're just got to doing what we have, dealing with what we have at the moment. Now this right here is a 150-ton press. So this is pretty cool. Like you can do a lot of crazy awesome stuff with this thing. We don't use it all that often, but in the events where you need a press, it's like there's no substitute for a press like this. So like this was something my dad was working on before. This was a crazy concept for a bike crank where he made molds, and he just got this sheet metal and then crushed it into place with like a layer of rubber, and it just kind of hydroformed over the mold. So you get two halves that kind of look like that you can cut out and then laser weld together. So just kind of cool to experiment with that kind of stuff. And then here are the manual lathes I was talking about earlier. So this is what we do side twos of rings on. And so we have these like mandrels that you can tighten the rings onto, and then you can do the other side with hand tools or with the, that tool there. So that's those. And then got a manual mill here to do like we have all these different pieces of wood in the back that I'll show you, but we use those for wood inlays. So we've got a whole library of different woods that we have that we can use, which is kind of cool. And then this is just a mini lathe for doing some finishing work, drill press, little finishing station here. And then in the back here is a sandblaster. We actually have two of them, but this one is working better than this one right now.
I got a quick question. When you do a wood inlay, what's the top coat to protect the material, since it's, obviously very soft, right, and it's subject to, deteriorate? I am not 100% sure if my dad wants me to share that, but we definitely do have a protective layer of coating that we put on it. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm allowed. Yeah, no, but so there is something, obviously.
Yeah, there's definitely something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Same
I've
thing
always
with
been
the
interested
meteorite.
in that, the process, but that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So yeah, this is all the wood that we have here. Just kind of organized into these IKEA shelves and a bunch of metal and stuff. It's kind of a mess back here, honestly. So, and then this over here is kind of my station that I've taken over. This is like where I finish all my crypto stuff. And we turn this table into a vacuum table. So down here, we've got like a little vacuum attachment so we can suck all the dust and stuff into the holes, which is really nice. And it can suck down this rubber piece that I sand on top of, so it doesn't slide around everywhere. But these are the rest of those star coins that are complete. Like they're all sanded, ready for anodizing. So just have to finish all those, but there's a whole bunch of them in here. These are some scrap pieces. These are some of the Chris Thompson order that I'm doing here. Just like the rocket ships, got a few of those. What's cool about these, I can cut a whole bunch of them at a time, and they go a lot faster than these ones did. Cause this one had, I think, like 65 different pierces with the laser, which, it takes a long time because it has to dwell for a minute before the laser gets all the way through, and then it can start moving. It takes a lot of argon, a lot of time, but these, I can cut 12 of these out in the same amount of time it takes to cut 2 of those. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. And then just a bunch of like bike part pieces. These are bike earrings here, which you saw in the other room, but we're just going to bring a whole bunch of them to the show with us. And it'd be really cool if we could pay for the whole show with just earring sales, which I think we might be able to. Christmas coming up, and, it's like $20 a piece or something like that. I think a lot of people would be down to buy those. And then this is kind of just like, I've kind of made a little system of, this is, the unfinished pieces that still need to get deburred and everything. And then this is sanded, and then this is like sanded and colored. And then this is just for this particular medallion order I was telling you guys about. So these are actually pretty cool. They're different stellar tokens. Like this is beer token here. We've got this like astronaut looking coin. A rabbit. I mean, there's all kinds. Pumpkin pie, which is kind of weird. I don't remember what this one was called, but it's like the EV logo, action token, This one was one of my favorites. This one turned out super cool. This is the Stellar Skull. Look at that. Like, that's wild. Penguin. I mean, look how many of these there are. This is all one order. Ink token. I tried to make them all kind of unique. This one is cannabis token, which is kind of funny. Doge. I mean, there's just so freaking many. This one turned out really cool. It's like a lion type thing. I forget what that one's called as well. Owl. Of course, OG CasinoCoin. We got XRP. And there's some flare in here. Look at this. This one's the emoji. The sunglasses emoji. Got flare. I mean, it's just wild, right? So King token, and I forget again what this one was called, but some kind of N or something. Lumen Swap, which is actually a really cool project. I think it's like a decentralized exchange running on the Stellar network. So, I think that one's got some legs on it. I'm not even going to try to remember all these. There's Songbird, which I love how that one turned out. I mean, just like the little, of course, I can't get a good background. Yeah, the little, the pieces separating turned out really cool. And then there's Band token. So like all together, I mean, all these are going to be anodized, different fades and colors and stuff. And then all of them are going to have engraving on them. So it's been a lot of work, but I think it's going to be worth it because, this community of 400 something thousand people is going to see all of these and then know like where they came from. And so that could bring a whole lot of business. So it's been a kind of a fun project to work on, honestly. And some of these project creators, like the beer token one, wherever that went, and the band token, or not band token. Anyway, a couple of the projects, like I've been working with the founder. Oh, Stellar Skull, wherever that went, and they both were like really excited about it. They thought it was super cool, and so they want to start offering these tokens in their stores. So like not all of these gave permission for like reselling and stuff just for this particular gift, but like a couple of them want to actually start a store and offering these in their store too. So I mean, this could turn into a huge amount of business just from this one order, which is really exciting. So
Tyler, what it's showing me is like basically if you can think it, you can create it type thing, right? I mean, is that safe to say? Even like if somebody wanted a one-off piece, like I'm a fan of the St. Louis Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
Like, could I ascend without getting into copyright infringement stuff, but like just as a general conversation, using that as the example, could I create my own St. Louis Cardinals keychain, for example? I mean,
potentially, yeah. And
if I was able to get you the design and the idea.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is like what was cool about this particular project was that we got permission from every single one of those coin creators. So it's like if you could get permission from the Cardinals, it's like by all means, I would love to. But like, and I've been trying to be really diligent about that because I could very easily end up in a position where like I used a logo that I wasn't authorized to use, and then the whole business could get screwed. And like, obviously that would just not be good for anybody. So
under the right conditions, it's safe to say that like, and not even using a logo from another company or a sports team, like even if like, people who are into tattoos, they go talk to their artist and they say, I've got this idea to do this, that, the other. If someone can brainstorm an idea or a design, you can certainly put that into action and create that. Is that safe to say?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, and like, what's kind of cool about this project is that some of these tokens, I was like, how in the world am I going to turn that into a cutout piece of titanium? Because some of them like this pumpkin pie one. I mean, like, what was I supposed to do with that? But I think it actually turned out pretty cool. Very cool. And so cause it was just a picture. It wasn't even a logo, like a vector file. It was a literal PNG of a real piece of pumpkin pie. And I was like, this is like really dumb. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? But it ended up like, and then even this one, I mean, like with all the crazy intricate parts on it, like that one turned out really, really cool. And it just kind of showed myself that like, wow, if I just kind of spent the time, like trying to do this stuff, like I could do it. And what was kind of cool about it is that they paid for the order up front. So I kind of had to figure it out. Same thing with these X-Punk pieces. Like I have the payment for it. So it's like, I got to do it one way or another. I got to figure out the process here. So it is kind of cool having that motivation of like, okay, like they paid for it. They're expecting their product. I got to deliver. Even if I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it yet. And, you know, if for some reason I can't figure it out, I will pay them their money back. No problem. But, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, I have to figure it out. And, you know, this order came together. So
they've essentially contracted you out to make the product. It's almost like you're a contractor in like construction or something where
it feels
in a funny way, as far as like the way they pay sometimes. It's like, hey, here's a project for you. Here's the money, figure it out. Like,
100%.
You know what I mean?
And what's crazy too, is that we've been getting a lot of these bulk orders paid in XRP, and in one case XLM. And so like how it's been working to this point was that I would, you know, accept the payments in my personal wallet and then just reimburse the company with my own money as if I was just buying the crypto myself. But after these bulk orders, it's gotten to the point where it's like multiple times more than my net worth right now. And so I can't keep just doing that. Or I could just not get a paycheck for however many months, which, you know, could or could not work. But what's really cool is that the other day I managed to convince both my parents that we need to open an official like business Sum wallet, and they agreed to it. So I'm going to set that up today actually, and then migrate some funds over there and start using that from now on, and then kind of have that as like, and they're willing to hold, you know, some crypto for the business, which I've been trying to get them to do for a while. And I think that they're starting to get to see the potential here. Cause I'm like, you know, the dollar, like, like, yeah, I get it. Like you have to pay bills and everything, and that's totally fine. But like, you really need to consider having a portion of the business treasury in some other assets, because like the times right now, what's going on, you just need to have some exposure to that so that you're not left holding the bag when something bad happens with the economy, or you know, we're seeing inflation right now. We're seeing a lot of things that we need to just be really aware of and prepared for as a business. And they came around to it. So I'm excited about that. And like, you know, one day, very soon, I would love to have an official Sum like integration with the website where people can pay through the Sum wallet now that we have a business account. And I'm going to be working with Weetsay about that probably soon. But, you know, Shopify doesn't let us use Sum because for whatever reason, they've been trying to get an integration for years, but Shopify is just not happy with it, and they're not letting them do it for some reason. So I don't know, might have to migrate to a different, you know, website provider or something, because I really want to use Sum for the business officially. It's just so easy to use. And a lot of people are holding on to XRP. They want to be able to pay for things in XRP. And since we're in the business of crypto merchandise, it makes absolute sense to actually start accepting crypto, like, you know, be one of the pioneer businesses that do that. You know what I mean? And I think that like we have a responsibility to do that, I think.
Yeah. And like my mindset with my titanium Sum card that we're going to work on here in the near future, whenever you get some spare time. I understand you're very busy. I'm kind of preparing for the future in a sense, because I can't use it immediately. But my thoughts are, yes, I do have one side of the card that's going to have some personal information, some personal QR codes. And while the Sum QR code or the Sum QR code is personalized, I can't use it really. I mean, I can use it to transact, but how many different areas of life can I use it to transact? Very few right now. But I think in the very near future, I'm kind of jumping the gun. I want to showcase what you can do, show that your product has utility. And also for my own benefit, I'm in the front lines of using the technology with a select group of people that are prepared to start transacting that way. And I think that's just kind of like being proactive, you know?
Exactly. And I'm extremely excited for the day where I get to use my own Sum card for receiving a payment for, you know, whatever it is. Like, I don't know when that day is going to come. Hopefully it's at the bike show in November. There's going to be like one person there that's like, hey, do you accept XRP by chance? And I'll be like, as a matter of fact, I've got, that would just be, that would make my whole day. That would make my whole day, whole month, actually. That would be amazing. But, I don't know if it's going to happen, but it would be so cool if it did. And, there will be a day for that. And so, like you said, it is kind of preparing for the future and utilizing that new infrastructure for payments. And I just, for me personally, what I'm doing right now is I'm just treating this XRP and the CSC that I'm holding as if it is Bitcoin from 2011. I mean, that's how I'm thinking about it. I know exactly where my keys are. I'm very, cautious about everything, and I'm trying my best to just be smart with it and not just waste it or sell at a certain, you know what I mean? Like I'm trying to be future oriented here and just be aware that, this is a token that is going to be used by a lot of major institutions in the world. And it's solving massive problems. And there's a very good chance that it will be adopted in the way that Ripple sets out to have this adopted. I think they stand a really good chance of achieving their vision. And to hold this token before that's realized, I just think the potential is huge. And then that opens up so many doors. Like I was talking about the machines. I mean, it's like we need new machines, but we don't have the money for that right now, but we could. And that's one of those things. Like, I don't want to just, whenever the day comes that I cash out, I'm not going to be throwing it away, buying stuff I don't need. It's going to be advancing the business further and taking things to new heights, diversifying a little bit more, doing really exciting new things, and kind of being a pioneer in a sense of certain, NFTs and just whatever we're doing, like we were talking about before. It's just a way
you mentioned, these pieces of equipment are pretty expensive. When you say that's a very subjective term, because you're talking many tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars or more for any given piece of equipment. And it's like, unless you absolutely have to have it and you can justify it because of the influx of revenue, you almost want to wait until you're busting at the seams to
exactly.
really
it's
jump
a lot
into
of risk.
And it's a fascinating time, isn't it? I mean, for your own self, for BooneRings.com, for crypto, for any specific project, they're all advancing and progressing at different rates. And we are seeing major developments, and a lot of it right now, which is frustrating for some people. A lot of the progression, the advancements that we're seeing are all infrastructure type stuff, where we're not really seeing the end result of the technology or the benefits right away. But the infrastructure is critical to being able to yield that at the end as the end result. So like people,
I agree.
I say people very generally, just most of the population would have to really take time to digest what's actually happening in order to give themselves confidence to invest or even want to entertain the technology in general. So we're ahead of the pack, all of us here in that regard. And what an exciting time. You're going to see projects with the sector that you're in, with producing merchandise, and now your product has utility. You're going to see in your own mind, your own experience in life, a completely different revolution and things coming full circle because of the involvement that you're going to have with these one-off projects. Like, oh, okay, you want 500 keychains or this, that, the other. Now, what is it that you do? Is there something we can do personalized based upon the vision of your project? And then you learned about this project. You're like, no one's ever heard of this. There's 100 people on the planet that hold this token. It gives you access to potentially being an investor. And it also kind of gives you insight as to where things are headed with new advancements. And that's incredible.
A great point. That's a great point. I mean,
you have that.
Yeah. And like with this Starcoin thing, it's like, I don't know if, if I would personally become an investor, but I have the front row seat right now. It's like they haven't even launched yet, but they told me about their vision and everything. And I was like, that actually does sound pretty cool. All these keychains that I'm making for them, they're giving out to artists that are coming, like music artists that are coming to their event. And it's like, that's going to be cool in of itself, because, if even just 10% of those people like figured out where those came from, that's more potential eyes on, I mean, that's just more potential business right there.
The
So
snowball
it's just
effect.
it's so exciting. And
Yeah.
and yeah, just I think, you know, like the guy behind that project was messaging me. He was like, is it possible to do this and that and whatever? And so I, you know, I went through a couple design iterations with him. I you know, made a few prototypes, and he was like, wow, this is really great. You know, can you make 100 of them? And it's like, yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if he was like expecting that or what, but he was like really happy. And so it's just really cool to be able to meet that kind of demand. And I think that as time goes on, it's just, there's going to be more projects like that going forward. And it might even get to the point where, you know, new projects want to have their own merch through like my platform as a way for them to get noticed, which would be kind of crazy. But and I need to be really careful about that, because I do make all these disclaimers about how, like, I'm not like, you know, any project that I make a token for or a piece for, I like, that's not, you know, like, you shouldn't assume that I am endorsing that project by making something for it. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm just a capitalist making whatever people want. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just,
absolutely.
It's like, if you want it, like, I'll make it, whatever. As long as I have the permissions and everything to do it, I'll do it.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I also like don't want to, you know, make and bring awareness to projects that end up being rug pulls and stuff. And so I feel like I do have somewhat of a responsibility here. And so I need to really think on this and figure out like how moving forward I should pick projects to work on and stuff. Cause like, I don't, even though I make disclaimers, I'm still like getting the bug in people's ear that like, hey, this is a project. And they might look into it and then think that it's cool and invest in it and then lose their money. And I would just still feel bad about that, even though I like covered my bases and stuff.
Right.
So anyway, I need to kind of think on that a little bit more, especially as I grow bigger, of just like, I need to be responsible with how I, you know, come across. So anyway, it's just one of those things. I think
something that's really important too, and it takes a lot of individuals who have a vision with business. It can take months or years to really understand if they're going to be successful in something. Somebody might have a great concept, but they can't quite turn a profit, and that's okay. And there's tweaks, and sometimes they end up being successful, sometimes they aren't. But I think really quickly, just with the fact that it's an existing business and your father's been successful for X amount of years, and you had your own vision and access to the equipment and all the rest of it, you had an advantage there. But your real advantage is to see that, yes, I am selling the product. People are interested. They have ideas for me to make. It's not like you have to keep creating your own ideas.
Yeah,
they're coming to
cool
you
too.
And you're seeing overnight success, it seems to me, at whatever level. And that's very powerful, because that's not the case for lots of people.
Right. And to be fair as well, like, you know, there were so many different business ventures that I have like embarked on in my past, like when I was in college and stuff. And I just, you know, went full on into something without really having any clue what I was doing, and ended up just really kind of burning out. I wasn't making enough money to really have it be worth my time. And so I went through probably like 4 or 5 different businesses, you know, where I just like failed miserably. And, you know, and that's just part of it. Like, I'm not complaining either. I'm just saying, like, I went through just a lot of failure, but this was something that it's like, it kind of checked all the boxes, where it's like, it's something I'm interested in. It's something I'm knowledgeable about. It's something that excites me, where it's like, literally like, last weekend on Sunday night, I had a hard time going to sleep because I was so excited about going into work on Monday. And that sounds really stupid, but I'm completely serious. Like, I was like, man, I got this to do and this to do and this to do. What order should I do it in? Like, I need to remember to talk to this person, and I need to do this. And wow, you know, there's all this to do, and maybe I should do this too. And, you know, my mind like would not shut down. And like, I was just constantly thinking about it. And I just, you know, compared to the experience I had when I was working in corporate America, like, it is night and day, you know, as far as like, I love showing up to work. I love what I do. This is so exciting to me. And the fact that it's working just makes it even better. But, it's like I get to experiment with ways to make things more efficient and figure out how to scale and do all this stuff, which I feel like is something that I've been trained to do through like my education. So I feel like I am applying the things that I'm learning from school into this business with manufacturing techniques and different things. And man, it is just so exciting. And then also just reading books on e-commerce and marketing and figuring out how to be more effective in that sphere of things. Cause I'm doing kind of both right now. And I would love to get to the point where I could decouple from the business, like physically making things, and develop a very easy to follow process map that I could train a $15 an hour high school intern exactly how to do everything that I'm doing right now. And then focus on the relationships, bringing in more business, because I'm going to be moving next year to Missouri. And, my girlfriend just got a job out there and she wants me to come with her. It's just for a year. So I think that would be a great opportunity for me to be able to kind of like develop the process, get some people in the door, train them how to do it, then kind of move out there, bring in the sales, keep doing what I'm doing on the Twitter side, be even more active potentially. And then just kind of like see how that plays out. And, I think that could be really good for me personally, just because like I have other ideas that I want to do beyond just the merch. Like there's other business ideas that I want to do that solve much bigger problems. I mean, right now the merch is great. People, there's a demand for it. People want it. It's exciting. But like the merch is not, solving a big problem in society. And that's fine. Like, I'm not saying everything has to, but like, there are things that I want to do that will solve big problems that I feel like I will have the resources to do, sooner rather than later. And I would like to go ahead and get started on building those. So, but it's just exciting that I can even think in these terms realistically, because things are really happening and they're really snowballing exponentially. Like literally, it's just in the last week, we had more orders than we did for the whole 3 months prior. I mean, just with the bulk orders, I mean, just the revenue. So it's really kind of forcing me to think in terms of like, do I want to do more of this kind of stuff? Do I want to still have, a lot of focus on the individual sales and the personalization, all that kind of stuff, which I think the answer is yes. But I also want to be able to support the large clients that are coming in with big orders without sacrificing the time and quality for the individuals. It's a tightrope walk. There's a lot of variables to consider. But I think we're doing okay when it comes to just keeping on top of everything with the capacity that we have. And I already have a friend from high school coming in when he can for a few hours here and there that, I'm paying him 15 an hour for. And so he's helping like with the finishing and stuff while I can focus more on the designing and stuff like that only I can do. So, we're definitely getting there. We're getting somewhere, and it's really exciting.
You've got a great foundation. You have, it's a passion of yours. I can just tell through the way you converse about it. That in and of itself is extremely valuable. I mean, you're going to be successful whether you want to or not, because of your drive and your ambition for not only your business, your father's business, but just for the communities and the technology, and the product and the materials. I know you like, working with your hands and having these ideas and creating these designs. And there's a lot going on there with your senses, with the stimulation of your brain and communicating with people. And then also being able to work. And a lot of people find satisfaction and enjoyment at whatever level working, and actually having your hands on the material and the product and using the equipment. And I've experienced that myself. And you're offered a lot of different trails that you can go down that come full circle to create a satisfactory end result. Like, not everybody can say that either. You have a lot of opportunity to go many different directions, which will all lead to a successful career. Like, you know what I mean? And that's the beauty of what I'm seeing with your company and what you're doing. You don't know what tomorrow is going to bring.
Nope.
But you do have a very strong vision on how you want to present yourself and your company and your product. So like,
I appreciate that, man.
That's very important.
I really, there were some months, really almost for a whole year, I was struggling with like, my, just life path. I was like, should I have gone into a corporate engineering job? Because the longer I wait, the harder it is going to be for me to find an engineering position utilizing the degree that, we paid all this money for. And I was like, man, did I make the wrong decision trying to do this startup thing that's not going anywhere? And then now I'm helping my dad with this business and things are hard. And like, it just, there was a lot of time where I was like, I feel like I made the wrong choice. And like, I kind of screwed myself in my career, but and like, I knew that there was like, I had potential that just was not being utilized or realized. And I was struggling with that a lot. But when this whole thing with the crypto merchandise came into being, it was something that I felt like I could take ownership of and really kind of drive a direction for. And that really just made a huge difference for me and just like the way that I thought about like what I was doing. And I just felt like a lot more fulfilled in what I was doing. So I'm really glad it kind of panned out the way it did and that I stuck with what I was doing and tried to just make something out of really nothing. Because again, like where I am today versus where I was 6 months ago is a completely different place. And it's a blessing. It really is. And I'm very, very excited about it. And, I don't want to squander this opportunity, in any like in any way at all. And so like, I'm more than willing to work 14-hour days and just get the stuff done, come in on the weekends, do whatever it takes for now. And then knowing that in the future, I can, when we scale this thing more, I can hire people to kind of replace my own labor and I can kind of get myself out of the equation when it comes to just making everything. And I won't be ball and chain to the sanding station here, sanding on things all day. I can actually kind of focus on like bringing in sales like I was talking about earlier. Yeah. And I think that's naturally where it's going to go, but it's just right now, I don't think we're quite ready for it, but I think we're getting close. We're getting very close to that day.
Another observation that's extremely powerful, whether you've realized it or not, is that you didn't have to do any of this. You didn't take the 9-to-5 job, which I'm not discrediting. A lot of millions and millions of people work that structure, and that's great. It works for lots of people. You didn't have to do any of this. So you're going to be successful. You're going to work the 14-hour days. No one's making you. You don't have to.
Yeah.
You're doing it because you're going to be successful because you don't have to be successful, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's like, I'll work 14 hours a day so I don't have to work 8 for an employer. You know what I mean? Right. It's like, I'm like, ever since I was a kid, I would read, like the Brian Tracy books and like listen to like Valuetainment podcasts and just all kinds of, Tom Bilyeu, all those guys. Like I would just really, dive deep into that and kind of structure my mindset off of that kind of stuff. Like back when I was in high school, I did motivational speeches for the trumpet section. Like it was just one of those things that I enjoyed doing and it helped some people out a lot. Like it turned them around, like they got better grades and they lost a lot of weight and they did a lot of great things and they turned themselves around. But, and I think that there's stuff like that I just want to do more of, but just in the last couple of years, the content that I've been consuming has been less and less of that and more of crypto stuff. And so I'm just talking about crypto all the time. I'm doing crypto stuff all the time, which I'm not saying is bad, but like, I feel like I am a little bit going away from some of my roots that kind of defined who I was as a person. And I would like to get back to more of that, but as time goes on, like, I'll have more and more financial.
Yeah. Sorry. What if you found like a foundation or something you're passionate about, whether it's children or any sort of disease or ailments that people go through? We could go on and on those lists, but like you could do like a few little pendants for like a children's hospital or something like that. Like I understand where you're going. I'm not making suggestions for you, but I'm just saying you could tap into that and you could do a cute little necklace for the children that are struggling with leukemia or something like that. And like, I know where you're going mentally with this, I think, where you're going to have that opportunity in the very near future to the holidays come around and you put out this little one of a kind piece and you go and you spend some time somewhere with any group of people, right? And you show your support, and it's a donation. You create excitement for people who are living through hard times. And that is something that you could do. And
Yep.
like, I think you'd find great fulfillment in that based upon what you're saying right now.
Absolutely.
Something like that, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. And, you know, what else you brought up, holidays. I think Black Friday is going to be a massive, massive deal. Like I want to put together something absolutely crazy for that. Maybe do some like partnership type stuff where we all kind of do some massive offer or something. I don't know how it's going to work. I really need to think about it. It's coming up a little over a month.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to be absolutely huge, because potentially the way things are shaping up in the markets, it looks like we could have a pretty massive bull run, you know, before then. So a lot of people have some extra capital that they'll be able to play with a little bit. So we might do some pretty crazy stuff, limited, you know, a couple runs of limited things or whatever. I don't know, but we'll do something special. And if anybody has ideas, you know, you could throw them in the chat or message me or whatever. I would be happy to hear them, because, you know, some of the best ideas were from people who were like, can you do this? And I'm like, I can, but I mean, you know, sure. Like it'll be this much. And then they're like, yeah, please. And then I make it. And then 15 people want it, you know, and I had no idea that people would want that. And then there's other things that I make that I think are going to really blow up. And then, you know, not really, which again is fine. I'm just saying, like, sometimes I just don't know what people actually want. And so it is kind of cool to get some engagement and feedback from people on, you know, stuff like they think I should do. So.
Yeah, we've got XRP for me in the chat. He says, sounds like a really great and caring company. We need more people with passion in the work they do. And this young man definitely has it.
I appreciate that.
And then we have Callie.
Thank you.
Callie Explorer. He's a regular follower of the channel. He says that shop with all those cool machines must be like working in a playground.
It is. It is. I'm going to be, I don't want to necessarily leave for a year in Missouri, because I'm going to have withdrawals from just being around machines all the time. But, you know,
I believe it.
Yeah. So,
well, hey, I think we've pretty much gone full circle. I'm so happy to have had you on here as a special guest.
Absolutely,
is there anything
man.
that you want to conclude with? Is there anything that you want to touch on that we haven't? Or I know you've got some ideas for some specials and some promotions coming up with the holidays. We've got, you know, we do have the Gambling Savant code, which is Savant through BooneRings.com. You'll be hosting and putting together your own promos as well, I'm sure, along the way, which you have already. So everybody keep an eye out for BooneRings.com, at tboone_8 on Twitter. And just stay in tune with the progression of his company, of crypto in general, these different projects that they'll be putting out product for and showcasing. And we're so happy to have had you on here today. You're a fantastic guest as always. And we love seeing the shop, and we will get working on the Gambling Savant, some titanium card here shortly. And we'll put together
as possible.
how it's made
for it.
Lengthy video from start to finish. And the time frame is TBD, to be determined. We'll let Tyler kind of call the shots there. He's very busy. He's fulfilling major orders right now in the crypto market for his product. And we respect that. So the time frame, like I said, we'll sort that out likely before the end of the year. We'll have that taken care of, though, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Gambling Savant, for having me on again. I mean, this is a great opportunity. I love talking with you. And like you said before, you know, we regularly have conversations through Twitter anyway. So we've become good friends, and I'm excited about, you know, what you're doing with your channel. And I'm happy to kind of see and I'm excited to see where things go with you. And, you know, and I think that the same is shared here, and like, we're just rooting for each other. And that's just really exciting. It's not, and I found that to be, you know, with other people as well, like with Code Word and others, it's like we are in Flare community. I mean, you know, he's been doing this for, I don't know how long, not that long, but, you know, he's managed to grow his channel to a major level. But he puts in the freaking work. I mean, you know, all of you guys do. Right. And so it's like, people see that, they respect that, they're hungry for content and information and knowledge. And so anyway, we're just supporting each other. We're all kind of like doing our thing. And it's just great. All the support. It's been wonderful. The community driven aspect of all this stuff is unlike anything I've ever experienced. So I just want to say thank you again. This has been great. To those people watching who don't follow me currently on Twitter, like he said, it's at tboone_8. I just share updates about things I'm working on, new projects. I'll do some behind the scenes stuff. Sometimes I'll just post about Twitter or crypto, just related, like, topics and things like that. And also I do keep my DMs open, and I try to respond to everybody. So if you have ideas for things that you want me to do or whatever, like, I'd be happy to have a conversation. Please no spamming, but anyway, and also too, Gadget made me a channel on the XRP community Discord, which I wasn't expecting. It was kind of one of those things I was asking around some of my affiliates, like, should I have an affiliate Discord channel or something where we could have a central location where we could talk about stuff? I decided, now it's not the right time for it, but then they went ahead and made this channel anyway, but it's not for affiliates. It's for just everybody to come and talk and kind of, it's just a little forum. And so there, it's just kind of a matter of, like, I'll post some things that I might not post on Twitter, like some new projects, behind the scenes stuff, whatever. So if you wanted to check that out, it's on the Discord for XRPL community. And it's, I don't really know what I'm going to do with it yet.
And so how do we find you on the Discord channel? What exactly do we go to as far as searching?
I could send you a link to it, but it's the XRPL community Discord server. And then within that server, there's a bunch of different sub channels, like Crypto Beast has his own channel there. And then now I have my own channel.
I've got
so like, it's just tboone8 with a little key next to it. I don't really know what the key is supposed to mean, but
yes,
anyway.
I did see that.
So, so
that's your tweet. Okay.
Yep. That's what it is. And I'll actually post again about it today if someone wanted to find it.
How about that?
I'll do that. I'll do that.
Post about it, and so people can get access to it. I actually need to sift through that and find you on there as well. I have yet to do that, but thank you so much. We're all rooting for you. You've got a ton of support in the community, as you know.
It's wild.
Your product is second to none. We love seeing the shop, and best wishes to you and your family. And
thank you.
Keep going down the trail, man. We're all with you.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate it.
And we're all going to cross the finish line. We know that, right?
Absolutely.
So it's part of the journey. It's a lot of fun. And I want to thank everybody who was in the chat, all the viewers who will see this later today or in the coming days. Thank you for all of your support. What a fantastic time we're living in. We've got lots of opportunity, and Tyler Boone is a great example of that. So onward and upward, my friend. Always a pleasure, and God bless you. Have a good day.
You too, brother. Have a good one.
Talk to you soon.
See ya. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye.